Hi there, my name's Andy Young and I'm one of the automotive lecturers down at Unitech in Auckland, New Zealand, and welcome to my Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. Now you may remember a few videos earlier I showed you how to lace up a spoked wheel, and this one is the front wheel off a tenacious Yamaha TDR 250 of the 1988 vintage. Now this didn't go to plan. Things don't always go to plan. And the original spoke set that we got to replace the original Yamaha spokes was off eBay. And unfortunately, and I'll play you a little clip, after I laced that particular, I'll put those particular spokes into the wheel, which is what I did on the last video, one of them, when I came to true the wheel, snapped. And I had a closer inspection on those spokes, and in all honesty, I didn't think they were up to the job. Because it's a front wheel, it's really important. Ben pulls lots of wheelies, so it's going to get some pretty serious jip when it comes crashing down to the ground again. And they were actually a smaller gauge, a thinner gauge wire with the spokes than the original Yamaha one, so they were never going to be quite as strong. So I made a management decision, and I decided to have some special spokes actually made up, because I can't get them from Yamaha, they've stopped making them, or they've run out of stock and they're not going to make new stock for a 20-year-old bike, that's for sure. So I found a very helpful chap called Tom Morris, and he's in South Auckland, and there's his phone number and his email address and all that kind of stuff. And if you need spokes and you've got an oddball wheel and need a spoke set and you can't get the manufacturer ones, go and see Tom if you're here in New Zealand, because he will make you a really cool all stainless steel spoke set. And if anything, they're stronger, I would say. Being solid stainless, they're going to be stronger than the originals. They're never going to rust, not really, because it's stainless steel and it's good quality stainless. And the quality of the nipples that come with those spokes, you know, these are the nipple bits here, look, they're really, really good. Now, Tom didn't give me a discount. Tom still charged me the normal price. And I don't mind, because these spokes are worth it. And it was actually a pleasure putting them in. So, as you can see, I've relaced the wheel with Tom's fully stainless steel spokes. But now it's time to true the wheel. Now, on a bicycle, the rims are quite weak, and when you relace them, you've got a lot of truing to do. You know, the wheel basically can have a buckle side to side, and you can also get lift up and down, and we have to basically eliminate both of those so that the rim of the wheel runs true. You know, it basically rotates without any kind of deviation. Sure, there's a tolerance, but we want to try and get it as best we can. And to do that, we really need a jig. We need something to mount the wheel in that we can spin it and we can see the deviation. And you can't really do it on the bike. I mean, I have trued bicycle wheels on bicycles as a last resort, but really you need a jig. And I'm sure you could make some kind of jig that's just going to hold the wheel spindle, sit that in a couple of V's, cut out some box section or angle iron with the rim sat in the middle. And you also need to make some spacers up so the wheel can't move side to side, so the hub basically can't move from side to side. So you're going to get a true reflection on the rim of whatever run out, we call it, you've got. So let me get this rim, this wheel built up in my jig, and I'll show you what I mean about how to true the wheel, the technique of truing the wheel. Here we go. Okay, so the wheel is now mounted in my, believe it or not, bicycle truing stand. And now I can spin the wheel freely in there, and I can see any kind of deviation. I'll do you a close-up and I'll show you what the deviation is side to side and how we check for that. And then I'll show you how to check for the up and down deviation. Now, it is really important that you can't move the hub from side to side. It's got to be basically held in position. Okay, what you're also going to need is essentially a spoke spanner. Now, these are pretty easy to get hold of. This is a DRC spoke spanner, and these cost about 20 bucks, 25 bucks for the set. They were pretty cheap, and it comes with well, an interchangeable end, so you get lots of these that screw in the end, and this is a 5.6 millimeter end, which means there's 5.6 millimeters between the two flats. Okay, so first of all, I want to talk to you about the two different types of adjustment. Now, first of all, we need to address the up and down movement. So if I spin the rim and I use my hand, can you see we've got some movement on the rim where it's not really running true. It's the rim edge is dropping down. Now we actually, on this rig, we can test that properly rather than using our finger by using this arm. It takes a little bit of setting up, but it's really useful. So basically, the way I do this, and I'm sure there are plenty of people out there that do this differently, I need to address the up and down truing first. Once we've got that sussed, then we'll worry about the side to side, the sort of classic buckled wheel that we need to fix. So basically I can just bring that up to there, and then I can rotate the rim, and we can see very, very clearly where the differences are in the movement of the rim, you know, what we call, not really run out, but the lift of the rim, and how much we need to adjust it. So I'm going to move the camera, and you can see now what I can see. Okay, so you can see we've got these two little fingers, and there's a gap between each of the fingers and the rim. And if I rotate the rim, you can see how that gap changes. So the furthest out part is about there, look. Now it's not making any kind of noise, and you can set these so they actually touch. If I just move that slightly, then it gives you an audible indication of where that rim's touching. Now at the moment these spokes are not really tensioned, they've just been put in finger tight. So what I can do now is I can evenly tighten the spokes, all of these nipples, not on this side, I'll be tightening them on the main side where the flats are, but I'm going to tighten all of these nipples basically around the area where that rim is, well, there's no clearance on here, and that's going to pull the rim in towards the centre of the wheel. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark on the rim, Ben's going to kill me for this, but just for the ease of the camera, I'm going to mark on the rim where that starts to make contact. So about there, and it finishes about there. Okay, well that's easy enough. So essentially, between those two marks, I need to just tighten up all of these spokes, and I'll do them about half a turn. Now you can, because the furthest distance away from the rim, from the hub, is sort of in the middle, we could tighten these ones slightly more than the ones that are near the end of where the marks are. So I'll do that now. So we'll start in the middle, and we'll give those, I don't know, a full turn maybe, which is four quarters. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we'll do that one as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll do these ones a little bit less. Maybe we'll do these 3/4 of a turn. Some of these spokes are actually pretty loose, to be honest. And we'll do that one there, just maybe half a turn once it's tight. There we go. Okay, and we'll turn. Well, you can see how loose that one is. Look, it's doing nothing at all. No wonder the rim's buckled. Okay, so we'll just give that a tweak. And this one here, and this one here. Okay, now you can hear it's just still touching, so we'll just repeat the process again. Go back to the middle, maybe give it half a turn, half a turn, half a turn, and then we'll come to the ones that are further out, give those sort of 1/4 of a turn. There we go. That one and that one, and now we've got no touching. Okay, so there's still, looking from this side, there is still some lift. So all we need to do now, for me, I can just move that a little bit closer, and we're not quite as close as that. There we go. And now we've got touch in that area there. Now I don't need to keep marking them off for you all the time. I can just put my hand where the start is. The finish is about there, so we'll just do that 1/4 of a turn. Do that. Oh, it's even loose. Look. Do that half a turn. Do that half a turn. And maybe do that 1/4 of a turn. There we go. Okay. And we've got contact there. So put my hand where the middle is, and again I'll just give that a tweak, give that one about half a turn tweak, and the ones next to it maybe quarter of a turn. There we go. We're getting there. Still got a touch. There we go. So we'll give that a half a turn. When it's as tight, there we go. Half a turn. Cool. Okay. So we've got very little contact again, so we can just move that a little bit further in. Okay, we've got contact there, so we'll just tweak those a little bit. And it's important to do them evenly, you know. Otherwise we're going to start to cause lots more buckles, lots more side to side movement on the rim. Okay, same again. Half a turn, quarter of a turn on those two. Same again there, look. Half a turn, quarter of a turn, quarter of a turn. A bit more on that one, that feels a bit slack. Okay. And just keep working your way around the rim, doing that. Half a turn, quarter, quarter. Now what we're doing is we are not only getting the rim to be true to the hub, equidistant all the way around to the hub, but we're also tensioning up the spokes. And even when I tension the spokes on this side, it's also going to pull the spokes tight on the opposite side as well. Okay, a bit more on that one. Give it half a turn, quarter of a turn. That one's loose. There we go. Cool. Okay, so pretty much gone there. Moving around. Oh, a little bit there. So half a turn on that one. Quarter on there. Quarter on there. Oh, that's loose. There we go. Same again. Half a turn. Quarter. Quarter. Okay, let's do half a turn on those two. Quarter, quarter. Half a turn, quarter, quarter. Okay. So close. You can see, look, we've got very, very little deviation now. Up and down on the rim. Sure, I can fine tune that and make it better, which I will, and then I'll move across to doing the you know, the side to side adjustment. So a bit more on there. Okay, let's do that one. So half a turn there, quarter of a turn on its adjacent ones. Okay. And the same there, look. Half a turn in the middle, and then quarter of a turn on the adjacent ones. Nearly. Okay, same again. It's looking pretty good. Obviously, with a motorcycle rim, you do have more of a tolerance than you do on a bicycle rim. So bicycle ones, you've got to get absolutely bang on, especially on the road bikes, you know, the race bikes. Okay, I think we'll just adjust that very bit closer. Bring it back a fraction, there we go. Now, here's a classic case. We've got here quite a gap. And looking at the rim, we've got the join of the rim is just here by this nipple. That's where the rim's connected. So sometimes you get a bit of a deviation on the join of the rim. but that's just because the profile of the actual bead or the edge of the rim is slightly different, so it doesn't really affect the trueness of the rim. Yeah. Okay, we'll just bring that bit in. Yeah, a bit more on there. Bit more. You can see we're getting pretty close tolerance now. Get a bit more around there. Quite a bad bit in that area there, so we'll find the centre. Out there. Give all those a bit of a tweak. Oh, that was slack. Mister, what are you playing at? Another slack one. Okay. Windy day today, and basically just keep working your way around the rim and you'll find that spoke tension will increase, and you'll start to also decrease the variation of the distance. Just pull that back a little bit. You can see where we are now, look. That's not bad. Now sure, there's still a bit of side to side, we're going to fix that later. At the moment we're only bothered about the up and down of the rim. And you can see there is a bit of a lump going on just here, which is to do with the join of the rim. So I'm going to keep doing this until I've completely eliminated, within tolerance anyway, the deviation on the up and down. Then I'll get back to you. Now at the moment the spoke tension is still way too low, so we can just keep cranking up the spokes. We don't need to worry about overloading them at the moment. Jeez, hold together, garage. It's really important when you tighten these spokes up that you don't just tighten up the one, because what that would do, if you tighten up just this one, it's going to pull the rim that way. We need to also tighten these two up and provide the same amount of force between these two as what that one spoke would do, and that will help to keep the wheel true and not make it way buckled side to side when we come through the wheel. So close now. And truing wheels takes time. It's not a 5-minute job, especially if you want to do a good job. and you'll hear the noise, the pitch of the spoke noise increase as the tension increases. Well, we've got a loose spoke. Look at that. Just give that one a bit of a tweak. Give it more buckle now. Focus on that. There we go. That's the join, we'll ignore that bit. Yep, join again. Okay, so that's pretty much all the up and down movement, lift, we can call that, adjusted out. And really the rim is, if you look at the top, yes, there's a bit of a glitch on there, that's the join in the rim, there's nothing we can do about that. But as regards the rim moving up and down, it's pretty good. So now all I need to do is to adjust out the side to side movement. So I'll show you how to do that. Right, so for me, I've got to adjust my my sort of truing stand a bit now, so that these fingers are more against the side of the rim rather than the top edge of the rim, so to speak, the furthest part, further out. And now you'll be able to see sort of the standard sort of buckled wheel that we would call it, where so we've got an increasing and decreasing gap here. You've only got to really look at one side because the rim is a set width all the way around, so we can just focus on this particular part here, look. And we've got a bit of a deviation, so I can now adjust that finger until it just starts to make a noise on the rim. There you go. Okay, so that now I can use the same process again, pretty much, to adjust the position of that rim. But I'm not this time going to tighten up all the spokes. I'll show you what I mean. So we've got contact. The centre of the contact point is there. So I want to pull the rim this way towards the camera. To do that, I need to slacken off these two spokes a little bit and tighten this one up. In fact, there you go. We'll just tighten that one up. That's why it's got a bit of a bend on it, because that one's still slack. So I'll tweak that up, and hopefully that won't affect too much the lift on the rim. There we go. That's fixed that problem. Right, we've got a bit more contact just there. So again, we need to bring the rim across to the camera. So maybe that's slack. No, that's a tight one. So I'm going to need to slacken these off, quarter of a turn, and tighten this one up, maybe half a turn. There we go. As long as the amount that you slacken these off is half of what you do that up, then we shouldn't affect the lift of the rim. Okay, where are we at? Right, so we've got another bit there. So we need to bring the rim again towards the camera. So I'm just going to slacken those off quarter of a turn. That one was already pretty slack actually. And we'll just tweak that up. And it's amazing how little adjustment you need to make quite a large difference on the rim. So I'm just bringing the fingers in now to because we're getting closer and closer to being with no run out. There we go. So we've got another one to adjust, and again towards the camera. So I'll just slacken these off, quarter of a turn, and we'll tweak that one up. That's getting pretty tight. Okay. Adjusting again. There we go. Okay, so again towards the camera. So we're going to have to undo that one a bit. So that's pretty slack actually. I'll just tweak that up. These are quite slack. Right, so we are. It's looking pretty good. Okay, a bit of contact there, so we'll slacken that one off a bit and we'll tighten those two up. A bit more there, and we'll slacken those two off. And you've got to get into the habit now when you're doing the side to side stuff and you're getting close to full tension on the spokes. That sort of noise there, that's full tension. You don't want to go much more than that really, otherwise you're going to overload the spokes and you could end up tearing the threads or maybe even damaging the hub. That's pretty good. You can hear that those are quite slack, so we'll just give that a bit of a tweak, bring that up to tension. There we go. Cool. I'm getting really close now. This is good. Okay. So I'm sort of on the last adjustment now, the fine tune of the rim. And we need to pull it across a bit more this way, so we'll just slacken that one off, slacken that off, give that about half a turn. We're starting to touch on this side here, so the rim needs to go away from the camera slightly. So to do that, we just slacken that one off a bit, let's maybe slacken that off as well, and transfer that to the other two, the ones on the other side. And hey presto, fixed. Okay, we need to come across to the camera a bit, so we'll slacken that off, and give that one a bit of a tweak. There we go. Okay, and again towards the camera, so we'll slacken that off. And we're getting to much smaller amount, well it's pretty slack actually, much smaller amounts of adjustment here. Jeez, it's pretty good. Well, that's definitely within tolerance for a motorcycle rim. There's no doubt about that at all. And there's one last thing to check. We need to check the up and down again on the rim, just to make sure we've not affected that. If we have, again, we need to fine tune that and get that back within tolerance again. So I'll move the camera and we'll take a look. Okay, so you can see we are incredibly close here. There's hardly any gap whatsoever. And around this side is about the same. So very, very good on the side to side now. That's all sorted. So we're just going to bring these fingers down, move them in slightly, so they operate on this side of the rim. Now remember, we do have the join part on the rim, and you'll see that as a little flash on there. So how bad is that? Let's just offer that in a little bit. Okay, we've got one place where it's just dropped back down. So on this one, I'll just give that a tweak to all the spokes in that area, and that should help to bring that back into spec. Well, that's pretty damn good. Pretty happy with that. Okay, so we'll just check again the side to side. And really it is a case of just jumping from one to the other all the time and constantly fine-tuning it. There you go, we've got one little place where it's just gone across again. There we go. It wants to go that way, so I'll just slacken off the spokes to the left-hand side of the hub a little bit. And I'm going to tighten up the spoke to the right-hand side of the hub. Now it's not touching on this side, it's touching on this side. So maybe I overcooked it. Okay, so back towards the left again on that point. There we go. Cool. Excellent. Right, very happy with the truing. We've still got the spoke tension to worry about. Okay, so we've trued both side to side and up and down. First of all, we did up and down, got that bang on, and then we trued or dialed out the side to side by spoke adjustment. And then we went back to check up and down was okay. We did some really minor adjustments on that, and then we went back to side and readjusted that again. And now, pretty much bang on. It's definitely good enough. But there may be some spokes that are still too slack, and we need to go around and check. So if we find the valve hole, that's a really good point to use as a datum. Where's the valve hole? There we go. Okay, so we'll start there, and all you need to do is give them a tap, and you'll know, that's alright, you'll know when you get one that's really slack. It'll be a really dull thud. Now if you need to tweak it up like I've done there, just slacken those off a little bit if it's too much. I mean, there is a chance we're going to have to go back and double check again the run out, the side to side and the up and down, but we can't have any loose spokes. That's really important. That one's a lot looser, although it's not really loose, but it is looser than that one. That's a higher pitch to that one there. I'll give that a little bit of a tweak. Don't forget, when you're tightening up spokes on this side of the wheel, it's also going to increase the tension on the opposite side as well. And it could affect, obviously, the buckling, the run out and the up and down on the rim. But we can't have loose spokes. think you got the idea. Just keep working your way around, making sure that the spoke tension is pretty even. You might get one that's really, really tight, and you might need to back that off a little bit. But it's obviously going to affect the trueness of the rim as well. See, that one's pretty tight. That's better. So I just backed it off a little bit. And I'm sure with all these extra adjustments, I'm going to have to go through and just double check and make some final tweaks to both the up and down and the side to side one more time. Okay, let's do that. So how does it look? Okay, so we've got a little bit there, which needs to come over to this side. So we now definitely have to undo those two and tighten that one up. Excellent. Okay. This bit here needs to go further that way, so we'll just back that one off and turn those two. And you've got to remember with these wheels, you know, this aluminium rim is pretty damn strong, and you're not going to get it perfect. It wasn't made perfect, and it's second hand. This rim is 22 years old, so at some point, you know, it's not going to be perfectly round, and we can't unbuckle the rim just by spoke tension. You know, we can adjust it slightly, but we can't make it perfect anymore. So actually, I'm going to say that job's done. Really, really happy with it. And you're always going to get some variation in spoke tension. If you're dealing with a rim, it's not exactly true. You know, you've got to put more tension on certain points to pull it back into line. That's just part of it. If it was a brand new rim that we'd fitted, then sure, more likely the spokes will be all pretty much the same tension. This is an old rim. It's not going to be like that. Okay, so there you go. It's been a long-awaited video. It's taken me quite a while to find Tom and then get Tom to make these. He's a very busy chap, and he probably has about a 2-week backlog of making up spokes, but he's done a fantastic job. Really, really happy with this. I can now get the wheel built up, put a new tyre on there, put the forks in that I rebuilt last week, and basically get the bike off my hoist, because I've got loads of other bikes to fix. So there you go. My apologies at this point in time for probably one of my most boring videos. Truing up a wheel actually is quite a boring, or could I say therapeutic kind of a task. Sure, it's okay to do every now and again, but I sure as hell won't want to be doing this every single day of my life. And I think testament to Tom, because he also builds wheels as well as just supply the spokes. He must be a very, very patient chap. Does a great job there. Okay, well there you go. If you've got any questions or comments, then do please add them down the bottom, and I'll do my very best to get back to you as soon as I possibly can. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, and please do, great to have a few more on board, just click the subscribe button, but also if you want to, click the little gear symbol next to it and turn on notifications, and that way you will get an email sent through whenever I upload any new videos. And there's heaps of videos going on the channel. Yes, it's slowed down a little bit the last couple of weeks because I've been teaching a lot at Unitech, and it's very difficult to, you know, lots of marketing to do and trying to find the time to do all the videos. But hopefully back on track, and there'll be another batch of videos heading towards the channel over the next couple of weeks. That tool again, that spoke tool, lots of companies make it. That one is a DRC spoke spanner, they call it, and it comes with lots of different ends. And well, you need one, because you know, don't forget, if you're going to be a mechanic, you need lots of tools, and it's a good excuse to buy another tool. But hopefully that TDR to my left is very soon going to be back on the road. There will be a batch of videos covering the engine rebuild, which is the next task for me to do. Maybe start on that on Sunday, hopefully. and then we can get that tenacious machine pulling wheelies up and down the main street in Auckland again. Don't tell the police. Okay, like I say, subscribe. Why don't you? Join the gang. Thanks for watching, crew. Cheers. Over and out.